What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay Money. Second NBA show today. We're here with our guy Tony Mejia from Wager Talk at Mejia Dinero on Twitter, my guys. Make sure you go follow him. Check him out at Wager Talk as well. What's up with you, Tony? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Everything great. Got a little bit of a nap in, and now I'm ready to attack the day with some more NBA plays. Got an NBA show, the Wager Talk NBA show that you did earlier this week. I did yesterday's, and then today's later this afternoon, and then big weekend of football. But now that NBA is on board, it's NBA all day, every day. So looking forward to that. And let me plug that college basketball preview that you can get on our buddy Ralph Michaels' page. Wrote a bunch for that, and looking forward to college basketball season. You know I rock with that
as well. Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Can't wait for college basketball. Obviously, this is the NBA channel, so we're going to talk about some NBA games here, but definitely college basketball will be up pretty soon, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Detroit here, Tony. First game up where we got the Pistons getting 6.5 points. Game 2 in this little home and home spot here where the Hawks land 6.5 here. They only won the first game by 5. You think they can get it done? Do you think they can cover the spread in this one, Tony?
I do, but I mean, Jaden Ivey, I guess, under the weather. If he's going to play, then I like the Pistons' chances of sticking around. I think Cade Cunningham, when he's forced to do too much, I think he can definitely handle the load. But at this stage of his career, it's always better to have a attacking partner, somebody you can saddle off some responsibilities, stay fresher till the fourth. So, we'll see. They've got 2 rotational players still out, at least guys that they anticipated being in that, in Burks and Bagley, who were going to be out for, the foreseeable future. But, I think the Hawks are not at full strength yet. Obviously, I love what DeJounte Murray's brought to the team, but I'm going to be even more intrigued by them once Bogdanovich comes back. But Bogdan is still out with his knee issue. So, if you're going to get the Hawks, get them right now. So the Pistons might be a live home dog. We'll see what they do there, but I would not lay the points. I would take them with the Detroit Pistons. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I actually put a little something on the Pistons in this one, my guys. Hawks are 0-5 against the spread, last 5 in Detroit. I watched that first game as well. They barely won. They were lucky to win that one. And I'm watching that game. I'm saying, personally, I'm going to be on the Pistons next game. So I'm going with my gut here, especially after watching that first game. The Hawks got a ton of foul calls, a ton of like 50-50 calls. They could have went either way. They went the Hawks' way. I expect them to go the Pistons' way as well. I actually think the Pistons win this game outright. It's a huge look-ahead spot for the Hawks, having the Bucks on deck tomorrow. We know how they are. They play down to their competition. They play up to their competition. I'm banking on the Hawks, basically clearly looking past the Pistons here, conserving some energy on the defensive end versus Giannis and the boys tomorrow, where they're going to need all of their energy, my guys. So, yeah, I like the Pistons getting a 6.5 in that one. Let's go over here to the streets of Toronto here, Tony. We got the Raptors getting a point in this home game 2 once again here. A little revenge spot here, possibly for the Sixers here. Raptors got their playoff revenge in game 1. This total sitting at 213 here, Tony. What do you think? You think we see a defensive game here? You think the Sixers can get some revenge? What's going on in this game?
Well, I mean, that first meeting just a couple days ago featured Scotty Barnes coming back just before tip-off because he was a game-time decision, and I honestly didn't think he was going to play based on what they said about his injury. They could keep him out at least a few games, and ended up not doing that. So from that standpoint, that was a little surprising that not only did he play, but he contributed to that victory the way that he did. And the Raps have looked pretty good. I mean, based on what they've done, they're coming in over 500 with the win over Philly at home. Now they got them again. They split with Miami. That was interesting. So now they've played Cleveland, Brooklyn, the Heat, and then the Sixers twice. So certainly they've been tested. And I mean, I like some things that I've seen from Philadelphia thus far. Tyrese Maxey, still has to let the other guys cook, James Harden and Joel Embiid, but he played really well the other night, and I love what he's able to do and bring to the table. They just need better efforts from that supporting cast, and they come in. I wouldn't say a desperate 1-4 because it's too early in the season to be desperate, but your only victory is against the Pacers. You've got that tough loss to the Spurs that really opened some eyes. Beyond that, a decent effort on opening night against the Celtics, and the loss to the Bucks, which was a slugfest that I don't think anybody saw coming, at least from the standpoint of being as low scoring as it is. And I think that's contributed to this lowish total. But the first game hit 218 points, 228, I should say. My math is off. 119 to 109. Will we see more points here, especially with Scotty Barnes probably feeling a little healthier, no longer a game time decision? I could see that. I could see the over being the play here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd like to usually when the two teams play back to back, same gym, and the over hit the first game, I'd like to think there's going to be more of a defensive game here. I'm not an expert total better, so I mean, you could take that how you want. I would lean the under here. I think the Sixers come in here and play a little bit better defense. We know the Raptors going to play defense, and I think they hit a lot of shots as well, a lot of threes. In my personal opinion, I don't think the Raptors are that great of a three-point shooting team. Guys like Siakam started hitting threes. We know that Gary Trent Jr., he can hit threes. He got hot. That's not surprising. But when you see Siakam hit 3 threes there, they were just sagging off of him, letting them shoot. Obviously, Doc Rivers, your coach, you kind of have to look at the game and see what didn't work and, you know what I'm saying, try to change things up here. You can't be sagging off these guys, even if they're not great shooters. These are still NBA players, man. If you give them 5-10 feet, it's a wide open shot, man. It can turn a bad shooter or an okay shooter into a great shooter. So with lean Sixers, with lean under, I hadn't bet either in the game, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Boston here, Tony. We got the Celtics land 6.5 points versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. The Cavs are back, my guys. They don't have Garland in this game, though, but I can't wait to watch this game, this matchup. What do you think about this one, Tony? Does the Celtics bounce back off that loss?
They absolutely can, but one key guy missing for them today, Grant Williams, got himself suspended, the 1-game suspension, so they're without one of their glue guys. And certainly with Robert Williams III out for another month or two, at least another month or two, we'll hopefully see him around the holidays, then this is a tough loss because Grant Williams gives you so much at both ends of the floor. His ability to guard bigger players and then hit that corner three. He's like PJ Tucker Jr. at this stage of his career. And that would definitely help against Mobley, and Mobley's come out of the gate a little slow, but I expect him to pick it up. And certainly we've seen great things out of Donovan Mitchell, really easing that blow of losing Darius Garland so early this season to that eye laceration. I saw that he's expected back soon, but he's got to get his conditioning ramped up, considering he did miss time so early. And this is all still preseason for all these guys. We start the season so early these days. Abbreviated preseason. Most of those guys skip out early, so it is still, let's get ourselves ramped up conditioning wise and rhythm wise until November. But the Cavs have been great, 3 straight wins, and they've beaten teams that they should beat. Quite frankly, the Chicago Bulls win without Garland was tremendous, and you saw what Mitchell was going to bring to the table right out of the gate. They blew out the Bulls. Bulls were shorthanded in that game, but still, it's a good win. And then back-to-back home wins over the Wizards and Magic, handling business. So, I think at this point, without Williams in the lineup, I would take the points with Cleveland.
Yeah, that's some good points. That's some good points right there. So without both Williams in the lineups here, two of their kind of power forward and centers over there. So be interested to see if the Celtics they have had 3 days off, my guys. Obviously the Cavs they're really starting to get in the groove here. Mitchell's really starting to get comfortable. Obviously he's playing a little bit better without having to get used to Garland out there. So it's a little bit better than getting acclimated Mitchell out there without Garland. Now he can kind of get used to running the team. They do have the size advantage down low. It's a size mismatch if you me with Mobley and Allen down low. You need bigs to bang with them down low, and I don't believe the Celtics have that. They're still a great team. Obviously, Tatum and Brown, that's it right here. Can Mitchell and guys like Dean Wade and LeVert stop Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? That's the game here. Celtics have the major advantage with the guards here. The Cavs have the major advantage with the bigs in this one, my guys, and with the paint protection. So it's a tough game for me. Wouldn't talk you out of taking the Cavs plus the points in that one to be able to keep this game close, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Milwaukee here, Tony, where we got the Bucks laying 5.5/6 points versus the New York Knicks here. Obviously, guys, line shop staring at the Wager Talk live odds screen right now. There are 5.5s out there for Milwaukee. Well, they're going now. It's up to 6 now. So basically 6 is across the board for the Bucks here, Tony. Do you like the? Do you think the Bucks can get it done in this one? Obviously, Giannis is playing on a different level right now.
He absolutely is, and the Knicks come off that game against the Hornets. They went to overtime, and the Hornets were shorthanded. The Knicks did get the win, but it was a Dennis Smith Jr. revenge game, and we saw James Bouknight have to play major minutes because at this point the Hornets are without both LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier. So it was a game where the Knicks needed to win that game, and it was closer than it should have been. They kind of fell apart down the stretch, but Jalen Brunson rescued them with some big threes. And look, I think from this point, I expected the Bucks to be favored by a little more. Obviously, we know that Chris Middleton is out for a while. They're missing Pat Connaughton, and Joe Ingles still hasn't come back from the ACL injury that he suffered pre-trades. Because he's been now on multiple teams, and he'll be a part of this Bucks rotation. So they're going with Jordan Nwora and a little bit of a younger bench. But I still expected the Bucks at home on a Friday night to be favored by more. You think this is a trappish line?
Not necessarily. I mean, obviously the Knicks are a great team. The Bucks, I mean, they didn't look too great about the day. I knew I had the Nets in that game. They were still down 12 at the half. I think people are kind of forgetting that. Obviously, Giannis went bunkers in that game. It's tough to stop him. That's the main matchup. I feel like I like the Bucks team. I like Giannis, but I still feel like the supporting cast around him is not scaring anyone, in my opinion. It's Giannis and everybody else on that team. Obviously, if he can go for 41, 50 points, it's going to be hard to stop him. But it's a tough game for him. It's not something I'm betting. I don't think the Bucks are that great as people are making them out to be, but like I say, obviously Giannis one of the best players in the game. If you don't have anyone to stop him, it could be a long game. But I do think the Knicks offensively, they should be able to keep up in this game. It's just, can you stop Giannis? So it'll be interesting to see who they put on him. I do think the bench advantage, I'll give that to the Knicks as well. So yeah, I lean Knicks plus the points. I don't know, man. I don't give the Bucks too much credit for stumping on the Nets there, right? This is the Nets here we're talking about, and they still could have lost that game. They had to come back in the fourth quarter and flip that one. So I'm still not super high on the Bucks. I mean, it's my personal opinions, though. You see what I'm saying? So I always try to say that you guys don't have to take my personal opinions and implement them into your capping. So, guys in chat, if you like the Bucks, take the Bucks. I'd lean towards the Knicks in this one. I know my guy Shark is on the Knicks as well. Probably gonna ride with him. Let's go over here.
Robinson stay out of foul trouble, but I'm with you.
Exactly. I like Hardenstein coming off the bench there, my guys.
Yeah.
So over here to the streets of Denver here, where we got the Nuggets laying 8 points versus the Utah Jazz here, Tony. The Jazz have been they've been one of the most surprising teams in the league so far this year. 4-1 straight up and against the spread here. Will depend on what you got in the Houston line. Now you get a revenge spot with the Nuggets. Can the Nuggets play enough defense to cover this spread? I don't really trust them laying the points, but can they play enough defense here, Tony?
Who, the Nuggets?
Yeah, can they? Yeah, we know the Jazz gonna play.
Well, I think the Jazz, they've been strength in numbers, like in the manner that they've been able to attack. I want to see if Colin Sexton's going to be able to play, because he left the last game, prematurely, and they were able to still, at least avenge that loss to the Rockets, their only loss of the season. Coming in 4-1, love what Lauri Markkanen has done this season. He's been able to score without needing to monopolize the ball. Jordan Clarkson has really had his game raised up to the point where they haven't needed Sexton. But ultimately, I think Colin Sexton's going to be a key piece. And right now, they can get by with Mike Conley Jr. making all the decisions, and obviously, Jordan Clarkson, if he continues to play well and shoot well, and that's been really the key, is that all those guys, Kelly Olynyk with Markkanen up front, have been able to share the ball. I guess tonight you got no Rudy Gay and no Fontecchio, who came in and did a nice job in that first Rockets meeting. But both of those guys out with COVID protocols, and then you hit the road before coming back home for to start a back-to-back with the Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. So is this a spot where you kind of tune out for a bit? I really haven't seen that from the Jazz and under their new coach, Will Hardy. He seems to have them playing really well and playing together. And then is this a spot where Denver kind of lets down its guard without coming off a really big win over the Lakers in terms of this is a game we want to get up for our fans, and they handled business and did it nicely. Jamal Murray, obviously still not 100% because he's working his way back. And Michael Porter Jr., from what I saw earlier today, before I took my power nap, still a game time decision as he works his way back from his back issues. So the line is pretty much what I expected. So it's really a matter of, who do you like? Do you think Nikola Jokic is going to be able to continue to impose his will on everybody? Certainly he doesn't have to worry about a Rudy Gobert matchup here now anymore, and he can get the better of both the Jazz centers. Udoka Azubuike, who's normally out and has been for the beginning of the preseason, he's been cleared to play, so he should soften the blow without Rudy Gay and Fontecchio out there. But yeah, I mean, I would think that this is a spot where if Denver plays well, gets enough from Jamal Murray, continues to get contributions from Bones Highland off the bench, they could handle business and win by double digits and pull away. What do you think?
Yeah, that's some good points there. Only reason why I don't think the Nuggets will look past them because they got smacked by 20 points in the first game of the season.
Yep.
I was on the Nuggets in that spot. So this time around, I don't see them overlooking them. If they don't have Sexton and Rudy Gay off the bench as well, it could be a little something there. The whole thing is will the Nuggets play defense. We know they have one of the best offenses in the league. It's hard to get behind this team because they pick and choose the spots when they want to play. And I think this is something to keep an eye on as well. When teams know that they can beat you with offense, they tend to play less defense over there. So I'd like to see the Nuggets come in here with a smash mouth type of mentality. We lost this game. Let's at least try to play a defense like this game. So I'd lean Nuggets. I'm not laying the 8 points with them. Maybe early to try to come out here and send a message to the Jazz like you can't really fuck with us. But I'm not laying the 8 full game. I do know that for sure. But obviously the Jazz do have a game versus the Grizzlies tomorrow at home. So I always feel like whenever you have the front game of back-to-back, you always have that element of in the second half of wanting to save energy, conserve energy for the game, for the next game. So now the Nuggets have lost 6 straight to the Jazz. Be interested to see if they can do it again. The Jazz can beat them outright again, my guys. So definitely will watch this game and learn. I do think at some point the Jazz will start to fizzle out, my guys. They're already starting about. There's already circulations of possibly trading Clarkson, my guys. So let's see what happens in that one. Last game up here, Tony. We got the Phoenix Suns here laying 7 points. We went to the streets of Phoenix here, laying 7 versus the Pelicans. Total of 224 here. So total's coming up to 226. So some money coming in on the over here, Tony. What do you think about that on this total going up?
Oh, well, like I said, I've been up all night just to let everybody watching in the chat and they're going to watch the replay. So when I went to bed before my little nap, we knew first of all Brandon Ingram's going to be out the next 3 games due to concussion protocol. So I wish him all the best. Always better to see him out there. But Zion, CJ McCollum, Jose Alvarado, and Herb Jones all questionable. You got any updates for me, or are you still on game time decision mode for them?
I'm not a wizard or anything, Tony, but they're not missing this fucking game for the world.
Okay. All right. Well, if they're at full strength, then I would take the points because I think that what we saw the other night, I mean, I was on the Pelicans getting points against the Mavs, and they played as well as they could possibly play. Obviously, Alvarado was tremendous initially, and I think he made a huge impact. So it was wild to see him end up on the injury report due to back spasms because they made up for Herb Jones being out. And, they needed him against Luka. Luka got off, had a chance to win that game with a late 3, missed it, but they had to hold on for dear life after playing a great first 3 quarters. And they're going to have to do that again, especially with, we'll see about Zion coming back in this game. Phoenix, clearly this is a revenge spot for them because they were pushed around by the younger Pelicans in that series that everybody remembers in the playoffs earlier this year. So, at this point, I think it's another big game for the Suns. And it's a new look Suns squad in terms of not having Jay Crowder out there and Devin Booker having more of an imprint. Chris Paul started the season slowly, but surely enough, he is still doing Chris Paul things. So he's not washed just yet. DeAndre Ayton, whether he wants to be there or not, is playing much better. His usage rate is up, and they come off that dominant win over the Golden State Warriors. After the bicker fest between Clay and Book, the Suns went off and took care of business. So next game up, couple days off. Certainly, it's a sunspot. If New Orleans isn't ready to play because of all the injuries, then I would think that Phoenix pulls away in the second half again.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the Pelicans, I actually think they win this game. I think that Suns momentum comes to a halt a little bit off a 31-point win versus the Warriors. It was a big game for them. They wanted to show their quality versus the champs. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm sure they're going to want to show their quality versus the Suns, versus the Pelicans as well, but it's a little bit different when you've already beaten these guys in the playoff series. You see what I'm saying? These not the defending champs. These are a young team. The young Pelicans team that got even better this year. So if you think they were scrappy versus the Suns last year, Suns, not gonna say they got worse because Booker is going for MVP. Obviously, they got the little Aiden turmoil with the coach over there, but they don't have as deep of a bench, and they don't have Jay Crowder out there as well. So I know that the Pelicans won't have Ingram, but this team is a young team that we talked about: Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, guys like that. These guys were even younger last year. Now they have even more experience, more time to gel with the coach. Don't forget Willie Green going back to his old Stormer grounds where he used to be a coach up under Money Williams. He's gonna want to come back and beat his old coach here. This team really showed that they can match up well versus the Suns last year in the playoffs and playoff revenge angle. It's not something that I go against, so it's Pelicans or nothing for me here. I'm actually on the Pelicans plus the 7. Alvarado quote says, obviously they kicked us out of the playoffs last year, so we're going to go in there, play Pelicans basketball, and beat them in their own crib. That's the type of shit that I like to hear. The last thing I'll say, I really think this is a chest type of thing. Alvarado, even if they are a little banged up, I saw McCollum with a hand, these injury. These guys are playing this game. Everybody practiced yesterday. So that's the inside info there, Tony, was that everybody practiced in full yesterday. So I do think they will get upgraded to questionable. If you do like the Pelicans and would like to ride with me, I'd say take the 7 now. I do see this closing at -6 or 6.5. And if you like the Suns, maybe wait in this one. You should be able to get a better number once Zion, McCollum, Alvarado, and Herb Jones are ruled in, my guys. So that's the betting that all 4 of these guys will be ruled in. This is a big game. This is a spot circled on their calendar, my guys. I think the Pelicans give it their all in this one. It's not saying that it's a guaranteed win or they're going to cover a spread, but it's saying that I'd like to be on the side of the Pelicans here with the peak motivation spot catching points as well, and a really good buy-on team for this year, my guys. But that's it for us today, man. Let's get to some free NBA picks, man. Real quick, I want to say, man, if you want to, let's talk about some shirts real quick, man. $10 off shirts. Tony has one of those nice shirts on. It's Us Against The Bookies, man. Tony knows. It's a nice shirt there, Tony. You can get $10 off right now. I am moving, guys. So obviously, if you could help me out, get rid of some of these shirts, my guys. You can get $10 off right now up until November 15th. Jay and Shark, Smack City, Us Against The Bookies. Let's get some cash shirts. You also get a free pair of swag glass. J Money approved swag glasses is real. So get those shirts, my guys. Only $15 for the Jay and Shark shirts. Could not talk you off. Tony, what you liking on the card tonight, my brother?
All right. Well, you can go read the write-up at wt.buzz/TM. That's my page. I got a 5% play up on a late game tonight in the NBA that we didn't cover. And my free play is the Pacers plus 5.5 against the Wizards. Let me do a little venting because I hit my 5% the other night, and it was that Pacers Bulls game going over the total. And it didn't go over the total until Benedict Mathurin stole the ball from his old college teammate and went to the floor to try to dunk on him because he was so pissed that he wasn't getting calls late in that game. Like, he had a dunk that he got fouled on, no call. He got tied up, he got fouled, no call. So I understood why he did it. Normally, I would think that's Bush League, but it benefited me, so I was all on board for that. But then last night in that Sacramento game, I was on the Kings. I saw you were on the Kings too. To the points, I thought that they would win outright, and certainly Memphis played a big boy game. Desmond Bane's been ridiculous, but we needed a bucket for the over in that game, and Bane dribbles out the clock. You don't dribble out the clock when there's less than 30 seconds in the game, over a minute. That was hard to see. He's dapping hands. So the Grizzlies dribble out the clock twice, and then we got 2 missed free throws from Monecki, who I was surprised to see in the league. High energy guy, played at, I believe, UC Davis. And so it was a tough beat because they fell 1 point short of that over 236 in that game. But venting over, I think the Pacers will bounce back with a solid performance against the Wizards tonight. I love Mathurin. Tyrese Halliburton is running the show for Indiana, and even though they're hit or miss, the way he runs that offense, I really like him. He has a huge size advantage today over Monty Morris because DeLon Wright is out for a few weeks with a hamstring issue, and he's really been a key to Washington second unit getting off So I think the Pacers are live dogs today on the road in DC. And give me the 5.5 points, although now it's down to 5. So maybe there are some people that agree with me on that. You have Miles Turner back. He's trying to get himself traded and started off well. 12 blocks in that game the other night against the Bulls, although some were fouls that weren't called, much to my chagrin. But yeah, give me the points with the Pacers.
Yeah, you make some good points there, man. I lean the Pacers here as well, but it's not enough for me to bet, Tony. But you make some good points there. Lund Wright is out, and the Pacers get back Miles Turner. So a lot of people want to look at them. They're trash, which I mean they are a punching bag in the NBA. But Turner does at least help out the starter position, but a starter center position, and at least a tad bit of rim protection. The guy doesn't want to rebound, but he will try to block some shots over there. But the Wizards team, they are kind of catching a win right now. I like their starting five. I like guys like Gafford off the bench, but they will miss their point guard off the bench. There's some injuries you want to pay attention to, and it's guys like backup point guards, backup centers off the bench. It matters, guys, when the bench players come in. So I like Benedict Mathurin, man. I love him. I like him and Halliburton. Not a big fan of the rest of the team, but I like Hill shot real good. He's been shooting good, but I did not like Buddy Hield, my guys. I don't know, man. Maybe 3-point shooter contest, but NBA player, stop it, my guys. But yeah, for me, I like I say, 2 plays for me. I added 1. I put a little something on the Pistons here, plus the 6.5. You don't like it, you don't have to ride with me. I think the Pistons win this game outright. Huge look ahead for the Hawks here. 0-5 ATS last 5 in Detroit as well. Look ahead to the Bucks tomorrow. Give me the points in the revenge spot with the Pistons. Probably should have won the first game, my guys. Didn't get any foul calls. I think they get the calls today. Bogdanovich going hot from 3. Give me the Pistons plus the 6.5. And also on the Pelicans, plus the 7, my guys. This one will go down to 6.5, 6 in my opinion by game time. So if you do like the Pelicans, if you like to ride with me, let's cash. If you don't like it, if you like the Suns, may want to wait on it, my guys. Nothing's guaranteed. I definitely won't come on here and tell you guys this is a guaranteed winner. So go with your gut. We're here letting you know our plays. Go check out Tony at WagerTalk, at WagerTalk.com. 5% play up tonight, man. Go check out Tony. That's the show, my guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, retweet on Twitter. We out, my guys. Let's get this cash. It's Us Against the Bookies.